Radio 161, great to make the hook up there, Matt.
Zero about.
Yeah, Matt, J. Juliet Alpha Yankee was my name for your further information.
Hi, this is cbradiomagazine.com, and we're going to take a look today at the BR-1 Big Radio Sound Echo Board. And this is a RF Limited Magnum Radios product. And while the Turbo Echo Board is a little bit more popular, I'd say, these days, the Big Radio Echo Board is a lot easier to install. The Turbo Echo does have a microphone gain pickup on it, amplifier. The Big Radio is just the Echo, and the install for the BR-1 is just 3 wires. So very simple, easy install. There's 3 wires that you're going to be installing. There's a red wire here that you're going to run to your switched 12 volt power. So you'd run it off your power switch, on-off switch. You'd have to use a voltmeter if you're not familiar with how to do that, and you'll check your on-off switch to figure out which wire coming out of it is your 12 volt on only when the radio is switched on. That's where you'd put that red wire. The second coaxial, there's a little coaxial cable here. There's a gray wire that comes out, and it's got 2 wires inside of it, a black wire and a white wire. The black wire is going to go to the ground on your microphone pin connection. For a standard Cobra, that's going to be pin 1. The white wire is going to go to the audio connection, which is usually going to be pin 2 in a Cobra Galaxy Unit-in type setup. So the control here is going to be your dual controls for the radio, and I've taken off the control knobs here. And this radio also comes with a little plug right here. And if you decide that you don't want to have an external control, you want to control the Echo internally inside the radio, you can pull out this plug here and replace it with this, and there's dual controls just like the way these ones work, and you can set it up the way you want it. Now that would be if you wanted the Echo always on and you just wanted to set up the radio that way so it was always on, but that way you don't have to worry about drilling holes or trying to install the Echo control knobs. So it gives you those 2 options, which is very cool. So let's take a look for our install today. We're going to try it in a Unit-in 640E radio, and should just be a 3-wire install. So I'm going to show you where we're going to install it, and then we'll just complete it and we'll give it a test and see what it sounds like. So this install is going to be a little bit trickier than some, but not too tough. So for this radio, up here, this is actually the knob for our on-off control. And a lot of radios like Cobras and stuff, on the back of the knob, you'll have a couple locations where wires come in that will be where you can connect the power wire. On this radio, it uses a circuit board up here, and it's got ribbon cables that run out here. So this little circuit board right here has a couple of different functions on it, but the input power comes into this pin right here. The output power, as you turn it on, comes out of this solder point right here. So we're going to connect our red wire for 12 volt source to this pin right here, and that's going to give us switchable on-off. Now the microphone pin on this radio up here is our microphone jack, and if we look towards the back here, might be a little bit hard to see, but you'll see 4 solder points here on the board, and it can vary from different radios. You know, a lot of radios don't incorporate this circuit board, so a lot of them you'll have just the direct back of the microphone jack for this. You just need to figure out where the pins are for the layout. So in this case it goes pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, pin 4. Remember, we've got the radio upside down. So you'll have to figure out the orientation from looking at the front of the plug. But 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to do in this case, we'll connect our black wire to pin 1 and our white wire to pin 2. So 1 wire over here for power, 1 wire for ground, 1 wire for audio, and that's the install. And we're actually going to install the board once we're done, just in this location right here. And that's about all there is to it. So let's go through and I'll do the install and we'll have a listen afterwards. Okay, we've completed our install and we did get the Echo working. So we'll point out 2 things. From the factory by accident, I don't know if it happened when I was pulling out the Echo board from the bagging, but this red wire was actually disconnected. There is a white wire here that's supposed to be disconnected in this setup, but this red wire had actually come loose, so it wasn't working when I first installed it, and I realized I had a loose wire, so I soldered that in. Let me show you where I soldered on the board inside the radio. Okay, so on the radio, as I pointed out, this is the 12 volt that is not active until the radio is switched on, so we put our red wire on there and just soldered that on. Okay, now we're looking at the actual microphone pin connections on the circuit board, and black wire went to the top, which is number 1, white wire went to the bottom, which was number 2. So that's all there is to it. Power and 2 wires, and you're ready to go with your Echo. You just have to find a place to install the board where it's not going to come into contact with anything metal or any other components inside the radio. So let's finish installing, mounting this. I'll close up the radio and we'll get an audio test on it. Okay, now we'll give this a test and see what the echo sounds like. Remember, this is not a repeating echo like on the turbo. It's not an endless echo, it's a type of reverb echo, so it's going to be a little bit different.
Okay, this is a test of the BR-1 echo, and we're going to do maximum on the volume just to give you a good idea. Obviously there's adjustments you can make, tone it down a little bit. This is currently without any echo at all, so we're going to turn on the echo to maximum, and now we'll adjust the delay up slowly. This is the delay for the echo in the 9 o'clock position. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, test, test. This is the echo in the 12 o'clock position. 12 o'clock position, BR-1, audio. Now this is the 3 o'clock position, echo in the 3 o'clock position, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, audio test. And this is with the echo in the maximum position, 1, 2, 3, audio. So you can hear the echo in the maximum position. And once again, this isn't a super repeating type echo. It's a little bit more of a reverb type echo. So a little bit different type of echo board.
Okay, so we're a little out of order here, but one last thing I'll show you. I forgot to show the install of the actual controls. So I drilled a hole through a case location. I actually found a location where there already was a hole, so I just had to widen it a little bit. Of course, the black case I had to drill through, so I found out where I was going through there and drilled through that. I installed, pushed the controls through and put my knobs on here. I've got my inside knob here, which is going to be on-off control, and that's also going to do the amount of volume, so volume level of the echo. Here is your delay control, so the amount of reverb echo that you want. And as you can see, it sits nice and flush on the radio. So a pretty nice install for that. As far as the radio I chose was a 640E. I just had it sitting around here, so that's what I used. But keep in mind, certain radios don't have talkback, and it's a little bit harder to add them. Cobra 29s, those types of radios, very easy to do the poor man's talkback modification and just do a resistor across the PA and external speaker jack to get your talkback going. Of course, if you have an echo, you kind of need talkback to be able to adjust it, unless you have a walkie-talkie or a monitoring radio hooked up. So for this radio, if we wanted to hook up talkback, we can't do that resistor modification. We'd have to add something like the UTB-1 all-mode talkback board. So that'd be a second board we'd have to install in the radio. But anyway, so the BR-1 big radio sound echo, we got a chance to listen to it. Very easy to install, just 3 wires, super simple. And then it gives you that echo control. If you're looking for the echo to be a little bit different, there are some options that you can do in that, and I'll post the instruction sheet on my website, where I'll have the video located as well, on cbradiomagazine.com. And you can read the instructions there. It will show a couple other methods to kind of enhance the echo, as they call it. And you can make those options to the board. So anyway, this is BR-1 once again, and thanks for watching.